This one was dope,
Yeah.
bro. This one was a memorable moment, man. So let's get into it, man. First of all, what did you think about the set list? Like,
So
were there
wow.
any songs that you felt like Kendrick or SZA should have performed that they didn't get into?
So that's a good question. I feel like the set list, I'll bring it back a little bit. So in preparation for reviews and everything, I always look at a set list. There's like a setlist.fm. That's where you can find any concert you want. So you kind of already know what you were expecting. So that's a nugget for y'all
Mm.
who frequent concerts a lot. You can already expect a certain list of songs from that site. So I was like, all right, cool. But at first I was like, this is a weird lineup, bro. Like it didn't like there's so many acts for those that haven't been. I'm not going to spoil it too much, but there's about 8 acts between Kendrick, SZA, and they do a few acts together. When I saw the set list, I was like, this is weird. Like I wouldn't sequence it. I wouldn't put King Kunta at the top of the
No.
concert. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't put it next to this song. So I think overall, I think he performed like among my favorite joints. I think the only one I would have liked to hear, and I have a feeling he'll do it if they are performing in like somewhere in South Florida, maybe. I haven't checked the list, so I don't know, but Silent Hill, like I think that's a
Mm.
joint with Kodak. That's the only one I
Yeah.
would have wanted to hear, I think, but otherwise they play DNA Humble, you know what I mean? Everything like all the major ones off Damn, like Love, um, everything I love. You know what? Yeah, they play N95 from Mr.
Yeah.
Morale. So I would say, bro, pretty much backseat freestyle from Good Kid. Yeah,
Yeah.
which ones do you feel like they may have missed from Kendrick's side at least?
From Kendrick's side, man, I'm gonna be honest. I think he got all of them. Now he might have did
Yeah,
it in an unorthodox ordering for sure.
for sure.
And I remember he did it like that intentionally, where you can't expect what he's gonna perform next because there was no cohesion. Like for me, it was just like he'll jump from new song to old song to like.
Yeah.
But no, I think he did all of the ones that I really would have wanted to see live. Like
Hmm.
he did DNA, he did like you said, Backseat Freestyle, he did Mad City.
Yep.
Mad City rendition he did with the Anita Baker in the back was
Bruh.
crazy. With
The
Anita Baker playing
mashups
with
was
the
crazy.
doo-wop mashup, it was insane. That was
Yeah.
probably my favorite part of the show, to be honest. Like that was I was it
Yeah.
was just so creative. You know what I
It was
mean?
dope. The mashups. And even he did Count Me Out from Mr. Morale. And then on the back end, he did Be Don't Kill My Vibe.
Oh, that was crazy.
I was like, yo, okay. Like that wasn't something I
Yeah.
expected, but I love it. It was a pleasant surprise for sure. Like I
Yeah.
rocked with it.
I like
Yeah.
the mashups. I thought it was dope. I thought it was unique and it really showed his skill set of being able to rap different songs over different production. I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I think the only thing I would have liked, I mean, just me being a long time listener of Kendrick. I mean, if he had threw one in there from Section 80, I wouldn't have been mad at it.
Nah, not
If
at
he had threw
all.
like rigor
Yeah.
mortis or something like that in there, just for the like diehard
Wow.
hip hop fans, I think it would have been smooth. Or
Yeah.
even high power or
High
something like that.
power.
I think that would have been cool. So some if you want to throw in something from Section 80, I thought it would have been cool. But other than that,
Yeah.
like everything else, nah, he got to him eventually.
He got to
Everything
him.
I needed to hear, he got to it. He got to it at some point.
And I think like you're right though. I think he kind of randomized it. I think they're also what people don't realize. A lot of these artists are still testing the waters. Like, yeah, they've reviewed like this track list or set list rather like a million times before during the production, like the planning process of this tour. But like things change. And so I think he randomized it because he wanted to keep people on their toes. Because I was on my toes because I
Oh,
wasn't
absolutely.
expecting to hear King Kunta really at all. I wouldn't
No,
say not at all, but definitely not at the beginning. Like
I
I
wasn't
wasn't
expecting
expecting
it to
that
hear. I wasn't expecting to hear it at all.
at all.
And
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting him to. One thing that, and I was talking to my girl about this too in the car. I was like, "Yo, one thing I gotta respect as a hip hop fan from Kendrick is that in a stadium, it would have been most artists in that type of situation would have just done their popular songs and
Yep.
just done like a piece of them. They would have did the hook,
Hmm.
the verse, and then got out of there. You know what I mean? But for
Hmm.
him, the fact that he took songs that weren't hits and rapped the whole thing,
The
I was
whole
like,
time.
I respect that. And he was like, "You're
Yeah.
gonna listen to this song that's deep and that ain't nothing that you can't dance to. You
Yeah.
just gonna sit here and listen." And I was like, as a hip hop fan, I was like, I respect that.
I respect it. Like there was okay, so here's my critiques. Now I think about it because by all accounts, let me get the good stuff off. he's one of my favorite performers, like when it comes to music, period, because he's one of the few people that doesn't rely on a backtrack. He's going to
I didn't hear
literally
backtrack the whole time.
the whole time. He's going to rap everything.
Crazy.
And he really didn't skip a beat. I saw him at the Mr. Morale tour, and I saw him when he was performing in Austin, I believe, as well. This is the sharpest I've ever seen him, and he's always been sharp. Like he's always like firm with his delivery. He's always the timing is always perfect. And yeah, like you know what I mean. Just walking around stage, naturally you lose a little bit of your breath, right? Like because it's hard to
Yeah.
keep up with a lot of these songs and a lot of these flows. But last night, bro, my man's was on his P's and Q's. Like I've never seen him perform. And I think this is my third or fourth time seeing him. So I'm
Mm,
like, yo, like this is crazy. I don't know what reps this man was getting into in
bro.
preparation for the Super Bowl at least, but it's clearly carried over to this tour. Um, what are some moments? I'll ask you, like for you, what are the highlights, or maybe what are some moments that kind of was like a small critique or a critique at all?
Um, I think just as far as staging, this is small for people, for listeners who weren't there. It's gonna be kind of hard to explain, but like I feel like there were moments where he's rapping on a part of the stage that most of the people can't see. So like when he rapped on the
Okay.
stairs that are all
Mm,
the way up in the middle, like even for me, and I had a good seat. You know what I
yeah.
mean? So for me, if I'm in a good seat and I can't see you, then I know people who further back here
Mm,
can't. You know what I mean? So there was certain
yeah.
like positionings that I was like, I don't know why they put him there when nobody else can actually like see him.
Mm.
But other than that though, like I I I'm not gonna speak on it too much, but I don't listen to
I
Scissors music.
already know.
You know what I
Uh-huh.
mean? And so I always tell people, man, everything ain't for everybody. I'm not one of them people. I would say Earl is a little bit more of I'll listen
Mm.
to everything in different genres and I'll try to. I feel like you're even more adventurous with music than I. Certain stuff just ain't for me. You know what I
Mm.
mean? And I'm not going. Scissors music isn't necessarily for me. There's some songs that I thought were cool, but I'm not her target audience. You know what I mean? So
Mm.
some of those parts, of course, I definitely tuned out and I let my girl rock out. I was like, all right, you got this. I'm gonna go ahead and sit it on down. But other than that, though, man, I really don't have a lot of critiques. Like I thought the staging was crazy. I thought even Scissors like the lighting and the special effects
Yeah,
I was
bro.
actually shocked to see her get into her choreography back. I didn't like
Yeah.
he was doing like full on choreography in a lot of the scenes, and I was like, oh, okay, she put some time into this show. Like,
For sure. That's all I
yeah,
kept thinking about was the preparation that went into the show. Because I'll be honest, like when I saw SZA during the Super Bowl performance and she did this move, like where she kind of like fell to the floor, like trying to be kind of sleek, and I was like, this is kind of like crazy. Like, where did this come from? You know what I'm saying? Because she's usually the person because I've seen SZA perform before too. She's like, can she dance? She can move a little bit, right? But it's mostly backup dancers, and she'll like get on a massive bird or something and float above the stage or something. Like I've seen
yeah,
I've seen her do that
um,
at music festivals. You feel me? So for this stadium tour, I was like, I don't know, like really what she gonna do because she's more of a like get you in your feels type of performer,
yeah,
right? Like a lot of her music talks about heartbreak and like others
hmm
don't, you know what I mean? But like it's not really set up for that, but like what she did like at the stadium tour, man, I really rocked with it. If I had to give a critique, like I really liked her set list a lot too. Obviously, some songs aren't going to resonate with me, especially kind of like the acoustic type of song she does, because I don't naturally feel like her voice really fits that. Like I don't really
yeah.
feel like her music really is resonant in that way, but I do like her versatility. I think she did some very SZA things with like having people dressed as giant praying mantises
Yo, that
and
was wild, man.
yo, she was hopped on a giant ant she called Anthony. I'm like, this is very SZA, bro. This is SZA, man.
When
So
I was
I
watching
can't
it,
knock it.
I was like, yo, this is different. I was like, yeah. But the
Yeah,
joints they performed together, man, I thought were cool. Like when
fire.
they did the 30 for 30, I thought was
Yeah,
fire. Luther, of course, they went crazy. I
crazy.
like all the joints that they did together. I thought that they had a good chemistry up there together too. Um,
Yep.
but you know
Yeah.
what? One of my critiques would be when we came up here to talk about us going to the concert, we
Mhm.
liked the idea initially of them doing the back and forth thing.
Yeah.
I changed my mind.
Okay. All
And,
right.
and the reason why I changed my mind is in my mind, I liked, let me, how do I say this? I thought that I would be able to float back and forth more seamlessly. but their
Mm,
music is so drastically different that I felt like it was kind of throwing me off. So I
mm,
think to me it would have made more sense to do a SZA set, a Kendrick set, and then the set of them together instead of just this back
yeah.
and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So in my mind, and I think I might have flowed a little smoother. So that's the only like critique. I think I would have probably enjoyed it more if it was in that format.
Yeah, and that's naturally how it is. But also, like, this is the most stylistically, like,
Different.
contrast. Like the artistically, like, sure, they have songs together, obviously, so they know how to come together. But like when it comes to their actual individual project,
Bro.
it's so different, right?
Like
Like,
I
so
deserve it
yeah.
all, and then going and performing something like SZA song, like they're very different sonically.
Different, which is ironic because some of their biggest songs, both of them, is with them featured on one another's songs. But yeah, like, and ironically, I actually think that's one of the strengths with the
Mhm.
format that you talked about is traditional. Like you have someone open and then you have someone main like headline, and then they come together towards the end, either as an encore or as part of the set list.
Right.
I kind of like the back and forth.
Rap and Reason podcast with Dr. Jeremy C. McCool and Earl Hopkins.